Going live. Going live. We're live.
And your turn.
You are listening to Let's Go. Hang on a second. Dwayne's thrown me off for not starting the recording. Let's not start the recording there. Let's
do
open
that.
this. Bear with us, dear viewer. We're missing a host. And as it's been half an hour and he's still missing. We know where he is. He's sitting in front of his computer waiting for Windows to update.
We're still going to hang on for a photo with today's newspaper to confirm proof of life.
Right, let's go. Start a new Audacity file.
Brand new.
Yeah.
New.
Audacity. Why are you going so slow, Audacity?
Because it's fucking hot out. That's probably why.
Probably
What
why.
you
Yeah,
rush.
that's why I'm not switching on my laptop to act as producer for the show. Because last time I had a new laptop and it was very hot, the new laptop died.
My computer is cooling its feet in a bucket of ice water.
Yeah,
You shouldn't do that, should you?
you should not know. I got a spray of water which I used to cool myself down. I was like, I probably should not do that at the computer. Right, you are listening to Let's Go, the weekly anime podcast about weekly anime from Dynamite in the Brain and Secret of the Sailor Madness. So come along and hang with the Let's Go gang. It's Niall.
How are you?
There's an empty space where Dwayne should be. And
My
it's me,
God.
Brian. And on this
Jesus
episode, we
Christ.
are covering anime that aired the week of the 3rd of July to the 9th of July, 2022, with a couple of exceptions. The first one being Spriggan, episode 2, Noah's Ark. This story of Spriggan that I am familiar with because it was
a film.
It was a film, and it was also the bit of the comic that they published in Manga Mania in the 90s.
That's what I call a cross promotion.
I think it was like
It's
3 or 4
years
years
apart, though,
before
wasn't it?
the movie. Yeah,
That was it, man. You're planting the seeds as early as soon as then to get you all hyped, all geared up for the movie coming down the line.
yeah. I don't like the movie. This is a little bit more accurate to the comic in that the werewolf gets to turn into a werewolf.
Yes. Yeah. How are you on that film? I know it's too long and they
I've not
spent too
seen
much
it.
time.
I've not seen it purely because he doesn't turn into a werewolf.
Exactly. Okay, no werewolf, no sale. That's
Exactly.
fair point. Fair dues. Yeah, it is a little bit long, a little bit dumb, but it's equally just it's just about the same level of like dumb as this. Just to kind of wedge in there a lot of the child soldier stuff regarding Aminayu that is kind of hinted at here. He's getting choked against the wall and his eyes start turning red. He's about to go kill crazy, but then the werewolf comes by to save his ass. But so it's kind of that kind of delays it for a bit. You know, kind of the whole thing like the Joker killing Batman's parents to try and make like a whole thing in there instead, and doesn't work well as well. But you get to see some dudes get caught up. It's like a power of cyborgs a lot. I think it's got some merit to it. But here's, I think, I say the more condensed version and accurate to the comic version. And it works just fine, I think, in these 45 minutes or so.
Yeah.
All the big stuff for us.
So we get a little bit of our boy at school. We learn that he's constantly playing truant and then immediately goes and plays truant again because he's got to go to Turkey because they've discovered Noah's Ark and they need to prevent the Americans from getting hold of it. There's a bunch of guys who are really saying lines out of movies which are guaranteeing they're going to get themselves killed.
Hey Kev, I heard you got married. Yup, I'll go to my honeymoon tomorrow. Oh Kev, we'll go to your funeral tomorrow. I'm sorry.
And then two guys from it's Machinist Platoon, isn't it? That's the
yes
organization.
They got a sweet logo with a skull, and it's like, yes. It's like a cyborg skull. It's got like cyborg crossbones. It's really rad.
It appears to be a really bad organization where their agents constantly seem to be going into business for themselves as soon as they get hold of one of these O-parts. But the two examples so far have like been, where are you recruiting these people from?
Like in the film McDougal, who was the psychic child who was brought in with this, he had like a handler who basically had a shot collar to keep him in line, but then he fucking takes him out. He goes, I say, just goes off in his own plot. But you just gotta just trust him. Okay, McDougal, I'm gonna send you out to Turkey to know the peanut butter to these dudes. You're gonna do honor system, right? Yep. Sure, I don't hold any lingering resentment at all for you turning me into like a psychic genius, weirdo freak.
It's all going to go perfectly well. Just
Yep,
like the
honor system.
the religious zealot we sent on a mission last episode.
Yeah, but like we're all about that in America. We thought he was like one of our boys. Oh well.
But yeah, so we've got there's the professor and the other scientist.
Professor Maisel and Miss Margaret.
Yes.
And I like their style, how they kind of treat people. Miss Margaret is the assistant, but she's like, fairly unflappable. Besides, she gets like a psychic backhand, but she's like, just I'm cool. I've had guys point out I went before I'm grand. And Maisel is like fucking like they bring like you in when he arrives, and you kind of show him his new gear, and a view of kind of James Bond, in the lab with Q kind of moment. It's fun and saying, "Hey, 007, hey, shut the fuck up, okay? Listen to me, I'm a genius." He's just very like this short manner with people, and you just take no bullshit from nobody. Which I like, even when he's like again staring down a psychic child with unknowable power, he's just like, "You fucking idiot! That's fucking the logic of a child you're working with there."
Before we get to the child, though, we got to deal with Fat Man and Little Boy. This is the most Metal Gear Solid 2 of I guess Metal Gear Solid 2 is the most this episode.
Metal Gear 1, yeah, because this is like, you got a big dude with a Gatling gun, you're out in the snow.
There's literally someone called Fat Man in Metal Gear Solid 2.
There is as well, yeah.
I mean, it's an obvious set of code names, but I mean, you generally get a Metal Gear vibe from a lot of the activities of our heroes, anyway. But.
Yeah, but see, with Fat Man 2, we're getting the Dark Knight Rises, the Bane mask made out of like pipes or like it's a face hugger or something shit like that. I mean, the comic did was that the way it looked? Probably not. It seems like a pretty
I can't remember.
That should put them the same reference.
But yeah, so you has to fight the pair of them, and then he gets rescued by another Spriggan agent, the French Spriggan agent Jean-Jacques Monde. Who defeats the pair of them and then blows the head off Fat Man, much to Yu's annoyance, because you wanted to capture them alive and stops him
rescue team, not assassins.
Stops him from killing Little Boy. And then Colonel McDougal shows up and causes trouble. And rescues Little Boy, who they've got pinned to the wall, because while they left him alive, they did blow his cybernetic limbs off. And then Little Boy's going to get his revenge on you, while Colonel McDougal takes the two scientists in to see Noah's Ark. There's also there's a bit of a One Piece vibe to these ancient writings, leading you to mysterious ships from around the world.
Yeah, like you see, like your buried treasure sort of story. It evolved a bit, from all ex-master spas, pirates find treasure for the gold. They kind of brought that in with your Pulp Fiction kind of things, your Indiana Jones, where the treasure had a more profound meaning than just riches and glory. It has like links, like the cultural aspect, what they're trying to emphasize. And sometimes we try to leave this shit alone because it's not ours. We don't know what to do with it, and it's dangerous. And kind of in a way saying maybe we should stop fucking around with these artifacts, to stop digging around and let things be a bit.
And they can't get into it because they need some sort of electromagnetic device. But Colonel McDougal is his own electromagnetic device, and they get into Noah. Yu is saved when clearly the one agent who McDougal's men had failed to take care of was Jean. I guess Jean was just moving very fast at the time. That seems to be his other thing, apart from turning into a werewolf.
Yes, and shotgun, very effective use of a shotgun. He's this one blasting dudes like left and right, but he gets too caught up in his mockery to get shotgunned in the back. It's like, oh man, it's like, oh, he's dead now. Oh no, you don't get it. You've really fucked up now. Whenever he sees his own blood, he's doing it right now. Turns into a werewolf and starts twisting people's heads off. Luckily, some of the staff,
Yeah,
the Arkham
Arkham, yeah.
agent survives, so we're able to kind of haul him off and say, "You better leave him alone because he's just going to keep at this until everybody in the room is totaled." But they send him in again after we gotta get to the core of the arc and get this, because now they've turned it on and I've seen it's actually like, blessings of heaven become the blessings of hell. It's a device to control the atmosphere, the radiation that gets through that certain atmosphere. You can change the weather. I can use this to reverse global warming and climate change. You can even create new life. And they travel up to all the dinosaurs preserved and cryostasis and then animals. Even seeing the fossil records, man, they're all fucking weird alien yolks. So it's like it's Noah's Ark at an abstraction, which is where the are a lot of things in this comic. It's in the series as well. It's just it's the idea of it is in the Bible or whatever. But what it actually does, is it's just like it's a matter of wording what its actual capabilities are, and they kind of keep that theme going for whatever they encounter.
Righty ho. Okay, that's let me just check the audio. Right.
Okay.
Yeah, we're fine. Okay, don't know what was going on there. It's telling me there was no audio coming
Cool.
through, but I can hear us talking. So that's a lie. Yeah, so it's supposed to be used for terraforming, but McDougal's going to use it to wipe humanity off the face of the earth and become a new god, of which Yu is having none of this. Nor is Jean. But he's got to go. They get him to take the scientists away, and you will deal with the colonel.
Mm-hmm. You get a kind of classic kind of philosophies there. Yeah, the world is shit, but it's worth saving. There's a lot of nice folks out there. So rather than just fucking try and wipe it all off and start clean, but if you try and use fucking make things better for people, and say, no, you don't get it. I'm God. I'm gonna do this. And I wonder what the kind of sugar thing is, because he has the psychic powers. He can he's the one who can actually break the seal, the time seal on the ark, and actually walk into it. But what made him was derived from what they learned discovering things like this in the earth. So there was always going to be somebody like this at some point. So it's not just him. But because I'm the only one so far, I'm obviously the chosen one. So that kind of feeds into his god complex.
And you essentially defeats him by just getting pounded repeatedly by Colonel McDougal until his powers turn on himself. At which point he realizes that he is not a god, and therefore you should get out of here. I'm going to blow myself and this whole thing up. I've made a terrible mistake.
Didn't seem that remorseful about it. He seems kind of fuck all y'all. Fuck all you. I'm out of here. He's got some beef with the world,
yes.
Things like what kind of sick world would allow somebody like a child like me to have this done to them?
But at the end,
so,
he looks more like a child as opposed to a Akira psychic child. And he's had his hat knocked off as well. And then Jean rescues.
They escape. John comes and gets him. Yeah, but you naive motherfucker! I keep telling you, you gotta fucking go in for the kill every time when I come back and get you. Fun. Yeah, I know, but that's just the way I am. Yeah, and that's what I like about you is that you have that sense of of morality still. So you're a bit of a soft touch, but that's why you're good at your job in this sense. That's why I like you.
And that's that.
Yeah, big hugs. Everyone who's still surviving. Which again, it uses very similar shots to what the end of the film too. As well. Could probably pull them from the exact same balance in the comic. I think it's like just everyone crowding in for the group hug. It's like all right, man, good to see you alive. Too bad about Kevin and everybody else who got sliced to pieces or blown up or fucking disintegrated by bullets.
Yeah, I mean the machinist platoon guys, the grunts. At some point, you should probably have stopped shooting that werewolf and ran.
I wonder just how familiar they are with making all these weird cyborgs and psychic children and that, but maybe a werewolf that's too weird. We never anticipated something like that.
Just the way it was slicing through their comrades.
Dumbfounded.
probably should put
Mm.
the fear into them, but maybe if they'd run, something worse would have happened to them. Who knows?
Yeah. It's consistently well choreographed in his action sequences. They do, and they move pretty well. You'd barely notice a lot of the time because it doesn't always seem to be like they've put like you in as much as CG models because his gear is so detailed. Whereas they have like Jacques Mond, and he's fucking zipping around as well, but he's like traditionally animated
Yeah,
all the time.
it's still a little weird how your main character is the least smooth of the characters moving in any particular action scene. But
Yeah, like from Fat Man even like he's got a lot going on, a lot of asymmetrical details happening there, and we see him fucking in all kind of states. His Gatling gun firing, half a Gatling gun firing, but he's still shooting it off, and it's just kind of spraying around. It's less accurate now. Maybe there's somebody who's just crazy about drawing Gatling guns who got in for that, and he's just able to focus on it because you got to get the right kind of maniac. I hope we get more of kind of the James Bond talking to Q moments there. It's like to have like oh, here's like your new knife. It's super 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 duper hard now, and here's these like arm guards with like a 100-foot long like tensile wire to grapple things up, which uses immediately to great effect.
yeah, I'd listened to the opening theme properly this time, and it definitely has deliberate Bond theme suggestions in there.
Yeah, no.
Less keen on the ending theme. But then we've got Bastard, Heavy Metal Dark Fantasy, Episode 2, Rampage, in which we have returned back to the castle we were in last time. But there's 4 guys who are like, that spell Venom, there's only one person who could have cast that spell, and we've not seen him for 15 years. Let's see if we can figure out whether it is him. We'll send, what's his name? Kevin, something along that.
Was Kevin something or other. I struggle to think of what
He's got a
metal
Hydra
reference he is.
anyway, and he knows how to use it. And they're going to send him and his Hydra over to the capital of Metallicana.
If he gets killed, we know it's definitely Dark Schneider. With their strategy here.
Anyway, they hear this Hydra's coming, and the priests are all like, "You've got to release Dark Schneider again. Please release Dark Schneider again. It's the only way we can be saved."
No, I don't wanna. It's like I gotta kiss a boy. Ooh.
Anyway, she releases Dark Schneider again, who immediately decides he's going to kill her dad, but constantly is told off for killing her dad, and he keeps on going, "No, you don't have that control over me. I'm going to kill your dad." But luckily, and I love it. I love that the dad's protection spell is called Striper, the Christian heavy metal band.
Yeah.
And he can't get through there, but he realizes, oh, there's a golem buried deep beneath this castle. If I just cut my wrists and drip my blood through the castle floors, it will activate that golem, and we can fight hand to hand. But I won't actually fight hand to hand. I'll use this golem to fight for me. And then a Hydra crashes through the wall, and so the Hydra gets the brunt of the rage instead of the dad. Also, at some point, those priests are telling Yoko off, saying, "We told you not to release Dark Schneider. Why did you?"
No, it should happen. I was there. Yeah, me too. I was totally on there. Yeah,
They might
me
be
too.
my favorite characters so far in the series. But yeah, there's like one shot of just them drawn in much more basic drawings, running around like headless chickens in the background.
It's a heavy metal dark fantasy, but it's primarily a comedy, at least in these early bits. Because he's just going, I'm going to destroy the world. She just slaps him in the back of the head. No, not doing that. Ow! Because she's the only one he's actually afraid of. Because I'm Dark Schneider, but I'm also Lucian. So while I'm an evil wizard, I'm also a frightened little child, and who cares about you. So I don't want to get hit by you.
Yes, because he insults the wizard with the Hydra in various ways, defeats him, and then explains the situation. Essentially, is like, the soul of Lucian is also my soul. They're two sides of the same soul. So Lucian loves you means I love you as well. She's not having it of it, and then it's this time round he kisses her and returns to his Lucian form.
Yeah, she's having none of them. She's having sexy dreams about him
Yes.
every night.
It moves along at quite a clip, but it is funny how barely nothing different has happened from the previous episodes.
Nope, this second one, dude shows up, evil wizard, turns into Dark Snyder, abracadabra, venom, blows him up. It's like, casting a venom. We should probably look into this a little
I
further.
wonder if they're going to find more people said, or whether they're going to go one at a time and go and see whether it's Dark Snyder.
Yeah. I get that Lucian, he's meant to be from
He's about
15 as
supposed to
well,
be like,
isn't he?
if at the very least, like a year younger than her. Yeah, it's.
I get at the least that he's meant to be a bit well he's a little dweeb, he's he's a bit of a fraidy cat, but he's good at heart, and he could be like a boy her own age, it's like that. But he's like seems to be mentally and physically like 8 years old. It makes it even very, very weird. If he just wanted to be like 8 years old, make him 8 years old. But that was this weird fucking sexual angle to it because he's also
Yes.
Dark Snyder, who regularly someone's in
I
the
guess
news.
maybe the idea is that the innocent side of Dark Schneider is so small and puny compared to the worst parts of him that it has taken the form of this personality.
Has it like stunted his growth all these years for him from being a host of Dark Schneider? It's just no. It's the same as smoking like a pack of cigarettes a day. It just keeps it short and weedy.
Yeah, but I am enjoying it.
Yeah, it's look to we get like our closing credits in here as well, which emphasizes like here's all the hot sexy babes and chainmail bikinis you're gonna get in this series. Which that's fun in of itself. You can just take it for what it is. That's kind of becoming part and parcel of what I was drawing upon with the heavy metal covers and like the posters and the fantasy novels, with sexy babes and chainmail bikinis, the crossover there. And as long as everyone's having fun and not being kind of like leered at, I don't. I just equally leery, as in Dark Snyder is summoned in the nude on the regular. You see the full ass cheeks, everything. As long as everybody's getting nude, everybody's having a good time with it, then it's
and we
a
do
good
get
time
the
by
first
me.
expressly D&D joke in this one, where the dad is. First of all, he boasts like what level he is, and then declares that not only is he a priest, he's also a fighting monk.
Yeah.
So,
come on, son. I'll take you any day.
Throw his cast spells on you.
These muscles are just for show. I'm usually more like a dark sorcerer type. So if he got to trade by somebody, he's gonna fuck me up. So I'm going to summon the golem
Slayers,
instead.
doesn't it? So this is probably where
Yes.
Amelia's dad comes from, because he's very much the same,
yes.
exactly the same character. Then we got Yurei Deco, episode 1, The Adventures in Tom Sawyer. And I think it was like 2 trailers in to this, I realised it was a Huckleberry. I had like I think it's because they were always listing them. Here's Berry and here's Hook, and it was, I think once they introduced like here's a character called Finn, I was like, hang on a second. If I rearrange these, it forms a well-known phrase.
Berry Hook Finn.
So we're in some sort of augmented reality world, I guess, unless it's going to turn out to be another level of virtual reality beyond that.
They call it the metaverse, but it is essentially augmented reality. Everyone wears contacts that have had something done to their eyes where they see there's everything overlaid over your actual real world environment. Your entire existence is covered in ads, it's covered in social media. Everything's got a little like a like rating, whether it be this restaurant, this street sign, this fucking park, this person walking along, this person's dog. Everyone's got like a like rating, and that is your currency to both buy and sell things in this world.
And our main character, Berry, she's wants more love, is what she wants, is the thing. I think they call it love, don't they, rather than likes for the. Yeah, because there's loads of
everything
eye
is
puns, you
lovey.
see, because you get to see them through your eyes. as well. And her problem is she's got one of her implants, which I think they say you get at 3 years old or something, um, is
Yeah.
on the fritz, and it's glitching. But that allows her to see this kid who is seemingly invisible to everybody else. Our second character, Hook.
Yeah.
But she's also very interested
Oh, do
in
you mean
Phantom
yeah.
Zero as well, a mysterious mythological being of which there are some detectives who want evidence of it, who we briefly meet.
There's a
Yes.
bounty on the thing. It's may or may not be linked to like this legend they tell at the start where there was a giant with 1,000 eyes, but the giant could only rest like everything but one eye at a time, so it never slept. But then people hated the giant, but they held on to the eyes and really gave it like a PR makeover. It's a peacock. Everyone was peacocks, and we thought we would live under its benevolent gaze from here on out. So we were just fully accepting the surveillance state and the
Yes.
benefits it gives us in exchange for our no privacy. Everything is being monitored,
Yeah. So
etc., etc., and everything looks
yes.
like crap. Everything looks like shit.
Berry, when she covers her good eye up, she can see Hook, this character who is seemingly invisible to everybody else, and she follows him around, and we see him conning a middle-aged man out of most of his love, leaving him just enough to spend on his father's funeral.
And he appears, I guess, in AR as like, I'm a smooth guy with a slick shirt and a fucking fancy haircut. But it's like, as his love drains away, so it's like, the comb over comes in, everyone's shirts
Yeah,
a
I
bit
think I
more
think
creased. Oh man, I
I
can't
think
afford
like
this
all
bubble
their
tea now.
clothes are basically grey versions of like a 19th century swimming costume. They're like a singlet type thing because she's got that as well underneath her. Berry's got it underneath her clothes too.
Yeah, that's the whole thing is just been projected onto the AR thing. And when we have Barry chasing down Hawk, and the bad guys' neighbors, to see like, because she's basically has one eye that's not being bombarded with
Yes.
fucking internet shit. You can see the real world, which is why Hawk is not visible. Hawk is only invisible because everybody can just like, I'm just gonna shield myself from all of the augmented reality shit, and then no one can see me. But everything is like every building is like for in gray, plain concrete. There's nothing there. And it's overlaid itself like, here's a fancy French boutique. Here's like, this wonderful shop front. But it's all there's no like sense of kind of planning to it. Everything is just kind of thrown in on top of itself, and it's just this garish, nightmarish patchwork quilt of a tableau that is supposed to be like your main thoroughfare. But you can like change the skin of it. You can kind of buy extra options. You can kind of change the view of it. So I want it in this color instead of that color. But you gotta have like the dough, the likes, the love to change your worldview.
So yeah, she's also manages to get hold of this like rose that he left behind, and she uses that to hack his location um, and finds his
Hmm.
secret hideaway. At this point, she thinks he's Phantom Zero because that's when she goes and speaks to the detectives as well. He's got a robot dog called Pup. Her parents are worried about her eye getting
Hmm.
infected, so they give her like an eye patch to wear. And then the pair of them end up in a completely different world where the backgrounds are animated in a completely different manner. And they're chased by
Hmm.
zeros. Literal zeros are chasing them.
Yeah, and these are not very fun at all. They seem to take away or erase everything that they touch. Is reduced to zero, to nothingness. So we get caught in a swarm of those.
And then we get this chase scene where they're being chased by
So Mr. Like,
zeros. And at the very end, they come face to face with a figure floating in the sky whose appearance is masked by pixelation. And this, we believe,
mm-hmm.
is possibly Phantom Zero. Um, it's the bulk of it is Daisaito writing it. I think Kimiko Ino will be on it as well at some point. And then it's a lot of the Super Shiro staff, I think.
Yeah, it's the same
Yeah.
director as well, Tomohisa Shibayama, which I was a bit incensed that, oh, this is his directorial debut. He directed an entire like television series because it's short though, doesn't count in your fucking estimation, does it? Fucking
And
pedants.
if you see Super Shiro, you can tell because it has a lot of the same energy to it.
Yeah, that's like old kind of fun black and white cartoon style where everything's very rubbery and stretchy, and there's just like they can kind of run rampant then with everybody's social media avatars they've overlaid on everything, and you get this like wild clash of styles and design. Again, everything just kind of clashes together. There's no coherent kind of thing to it. It's a very kind of riotous thing, but it is, I suppose, in a way illustrative of like, yeah, this whole fucking AR thing or VR thing or metaverse, whatever. It's it's a lot of, as you've seen, a lot of fucking bad taste coming to the fore on this shit. So this is what it would look like if it just overtook society entirely. No, even if there was some like actual design twist behind it, it would always kind of be this incoherent mess because everyone has different perceptions of what their look or fashion is. Wish Dwayne was here because he has actual expertise. He fun trained and studied in this. He would have some words for this, I imagine. But we'll get those on next time because it's probably going to continue to look like this kind of weird bombardment of colors until we get to the bottom of what's actually going on in this strange
And
world.
the other thing we mentioned is Hook's dialogue. At least in the translation, I assume it's happening in the Japanese as well. He's constantly rhyming words together. So he calls Berry Nerdy
Mm.
Birdie. The world they end up in at the end is Glitchy Witchy. He gets Ragey Ragey. Um,
It is some like fucking strange futuristic like slang thing. Like everything is shui or
I assume it's supposed to be
what
like.
what
I assume
what is the pet
I
I'm
assume
feeling?
he's the Huckleberry Finn figure in our story of like the parentless.
Yes,
There's no adult figure in his life, and so he's got this yeah this
swindling
made up
people. Yeah.
language uh, that he's made up for himself as well. Um, but I'm gonna guess it's not gonna be. I guess it's gonna be like very light thematic general Mark Twain connections as opposed to actual full adaptation of Mark Twain stories.
Uh, I know. Maybe he'll appear like he did in not Golden Kamuy, Dagger of Kamuy, and you team up with a ninja, take bring justice to these
Yeah,
streets.
in general, I enjoyed this a lot. Looking forward to the next episode.
Oh yeah, yeah. It seems like a sort of like Science Sarah thing. It's always like the worry that Science Sarah is Misaki Iwasa, Misaki Iwasa is Science Sarah, but he's far enough like either taking a break or doing his own thing, and they've built up a solid like base of people there. Let him like off to whoever. Like Super Shiro was cool. It was great. He was supervising that, but I think they've confident enough to swim out on
Yeah,
their own. That'll be
and
good.
we've got Tatami Time Machine Blues later this year, which
Mm-hmm.
will probably be
Mm-hmm.
the thing I will like the most this year.
Yeah, good
Because
shot.
I was going through like my favorite things of each year or things I'd recommend for a Twitter thread, and I was like, boy, I like Shingo. That's and I was like,
Yeah. Oh, one me too. I think definitely one of my favorite directors. I've just not been, and funnily, probably just like by happenstance, just when I suppose got more attentive to what was coming out in anime, it seemed to coincide with him getting more prominent roles in directors or otherwise, and so it feels like he's been someone who's been on the rise and doing things as long as I've been more involved in anime and looking at it and enjoying it, and I'm just happy that someone like that is able to kind of come to like a place of
yes.
prominence, a place of respect like that. It's really good.
Then, talking of Kimiko Ino, this is the show she's head writer on. It's Chimimo, episode 1, A Hellish Beginning and the Envoy from Hell.
Hmm.
This is a show where, when I first watched it, I was like, I enjoyed that, but not much seemed to happen. But then I watched it again, and I'm like, yes, not much seems to happen, but there is a lot of stuff in the episode.
Mm.
Um, there's more,
There's lots to kind of
yes.
infer out of it.
So the situation is, there's three sisters who I'm gonna guess one's in her teens, one's in her 20s, one's in her 30s, or at least representing
Yeah.
those generation gaps. So one's at school, one appears to be at art college, and one is essentially acting as the surrogate mother to the other two. And
Hmm.
then every time they say something's like hell,
Related, related to hell. I mean, fun. This like, how should that Wi-Fi will be like unto a hell or like once and oh man, I've been fun taking so long and testing my phone. My beer's gotten warm. It's lukewarm as hell.
every time you say
Hell,
this, a
hell,
Chimimo
hell.
appears. Now, can we remember the names of all the
You speak of the
Chimimos?
devil. Yes, we can because
Oh, I
I
wrote them
cheated.
down as well, but I was going to try and remember. Okay, I'll try and remember them off the top of my head. Okay,
All right,
so we've got Mustache.
got it
Let me
fine.
see if I can remember them all. I've got the image here of them. Right, okay, we've got Mustache, that's one. Tiny Tiger, Red Pants, Blue Pants, Mochi, he's your main one. Ears,
Uh, yes.
Hipster,
Yeah.
Specs, Kappa.
Yeah.
Is that it? Have I missed it?
Yep.
Oh, Wings. Is it
Um,
Wings?
Wings. You didn't say,
I did
and you
say
said
Tiny
Tiny
Tiger.
Tiger.
Can't forget Tiny Tiger. He's the one who probably gets the most personality in this episode. Purely on the post-credit scene. Um,
Yeah. 12 is enough.
yeah, so they slowly appear in the first half. They've got one to begin with. They're like, oh, this is a weird pet. We better put a notice to see if anybody's lost it. Then somebody else says something's like hell, and then a second one appears, and then it keeps on happening until in the second half of the episode, their boss appears.
Mr.
Yes,
Hell.
demanding the return of his Chimimos.
Hmm. It's like, oh, how dare you? Fun. You order these pets, these animals. You just leaving them out here to be fending for themselves. That's despicable, says the eldest sister. And just
Yes.
drop kicks him. I don't think before or after that, the middle sister, she's coming in and saying, "Hey, I'm back. I was out drinking with friends. Oh, what's this? Oh God, better out than in, right?" So you're having an awful time. Someone from hell gets vomited on, drop kicked in the face, and you just left. Just gets told to fuck off. You just got wandering the town the next day. Oh shit! I gotta get a job. I gotta find a place to live because I'm on a mission from hell to turn this place into my hell on earth.
Yeah, he can't find a job. They give him a makeover, and then he gets to live in the tool shed in the garden with the Chimimos.
Sorry, we're kind of short of
Also,
space
apparently,
right
he's got to be
now.
paying rent. So,
He's got to put on a suit and tie and get out there. Supposed to up in front of some offers next episode.
but
But it's okay.
it is what it reminded me of is the 80s cartoons you get where they were created by a greetings card company. And that is because it's created by
Yeah.
a digital sticker designer.
Yeah. There's a lot of I think what was drawn as what looked like what the approximatives was banana. That was a similar
Yes.
motivation behind that. It's like when they it's a cute little mascot. We can make a little thing out of this. Now the worry with this one was well, this should have been a short rather than the half-hour TV half-hour episode, which is in two segments to be fair. That it could go along at a better clip, I think. Maybe it can. Maybe like they'll split it down in three
Yes,
bits.
that's what I thought after my initial viewing, and then I watched it a second time,
Get on
and
to them.
I quite like the pace that it is at. Um, and I really like the animation and the design. Um,
Yeah, it's kind of Flash-esque. It's moving better than just like your average Flash
yeah,
cartoon would, though. And there is somewhat a lot more kind of thought, I think, because it was more kind of thought into the background things, and they don't feel like it's just like this. It's a background image that we kind of barely interact with. They feel a lot more like they are actually placed within it, towards other things like that. There's a
yeah,
depth to it.
and I'm not sure whether they're getting any more characters beyond these four main ones and all the tiny little creatures. Though the opening does suggest that each of these creatures are going to have its own distinct personality. So and you may be able to fit in mustache into your drinks panel, Niall, as we see him hanging out in a bar.
Fine tasting scotch. So that's his deadly sin, you know. That's what he was sent to hell for.
And then post credits, we get an idea of what a short version of this might look like, as the Chimimos are on a seesaw, one hopping after another to balance the other side out, and then Tiny Tiger is the last one to jump, and instead of jumping on the pile, one of the piles jumps on the middle and launches them all into the sky.
Small but powerful.
And I was like, I don't think the physics of that works at all, Tiny Tiger, but you're very determined. Well done.
I guess in a short manner like that, it would resemble something more like Michiru
Yes.
Neko. Got different ones. They're kind of very subtly different. The different colors. They got a little accessory. Let's say, tell them apart.
Yeah, I'm fascinated as to what episode 2 looks like, because this was all introduction, so I suspect the next episode is what the show will actually be.
It's good though. It does give some very distinct personalities to each individual sisters. Or one of the youngest one, she's going to school, but like it is like, you know, very kind of social media. One saying, "Oh man, I got good pics of these like little cute things for the gram." And I very relate to the middle sister, our college student that's going out drinking. I had the same jacket as she does. Seems like, you know, with the t-shirt with the star on it, and also the jacket is just like, Kimiko Ueno, I know you were up for Space Dandy. Did you push for this to be part of the design? And even the eldest sister, like, you know, she's like I'm the kind of curvaceous elder sister, but she has this like Betty Boop style kind of sway as she walks along anywhere. She's kind of sultry.
Yeah, it's the thing of at first glance you might think this is for kids, and then you actually watch it and you're like, oh no, it's for adults who like things which look like kids stuff.
Yeah, which is us.
Then we've got I'm Kodama Kawashiri, The Dissolute Life of a Dangerous Life Hacker, episode 20, Concentration, an episode I had to watch twice because I wasn't concentrating. And even now, I can't remember what happened in it.
Oh, it's just about fun. Like, really fun. You just get into the zone, man. Fun saying, just like, you know, I can relate to it as well. It's like fun. Doesn't matter what happens. Fun saying, man, it's fucking like, you know, it's past midnight here. I'm just fucking on a roll. It's fun. I got like a Super Saiyan aura around me. I'm just fucking batting out pace left and right. I should fucking calm down, do it. Fun. This buzz snap might last forever. Gotta think about this. I'm gonna take a nap for a minute. And that's how you kill your concentration.
There's Dragon Quest, The Adventurer Die, episode 85, VEARN, The Dark King. So quickly check in on the fight with Mist VEARN, and then we get on to the main event. How are we going to get to VEARN? The stairs have collapsed. Oh, he's come to us. And then Dai's like, how do I fight him? What do I do? Do I use magic? Do I use my sword? Do I use magic? Do I use my sword? VEARN's like, what's up with this kid? He's very disappointing. I thought he was going to put more of a fight than this. And then Leona's like, just punch him. It's
fun. He didn't brag. Yeah, you wouldn't expect that. You know, for a guy got these extra mitts, you know, a guy got crest in each fist right now. So fun. That's from VEARN's like, oh shit, with both crests, you know, the first one was his own power, but now with the second crest, he's access to all of like the combat techniques of the Dragon Knights of Ages Past, up to and including punching me in the face. Damn it. This might not work out as easy as I would hope. And you get the sense of worry for the first time come over VEARN's face. He gets the little sweat drop because even he thinks, I'm gonna come out of this in one piece. I can probably win this one.
Yeah.
But it won't be easy. Not as easy as I thought it was going to be.
Have been acting so disappointed when he wasn't putting up a fight earlier.
It's like, what do you want, man? It's hot and cold with you.
Yeah. Is there any more of that before we go back down to Mist VEARN? Yeah, they go back down to Mist VEARN anyway, and the tide is turning in Mist VEARN's favour.
Oh, fine, but
then the other lads show up.
Was all the boys come in, and saying like, "Hey, it's me. I'm still alive. Just don't get phone saying, Shunker is still alive. No hugs. I haven't got any bones left. Oh, sorry. But saying, how was that fun, Miss VEARN? Looking all your fun best laid plans. Everybody's still fucking here. They're fucking ready to go. Him was gonna go a few rounds with you as well. Again, he's also our bud. So our strategy of getting buzz together because of being super sound is a lot better than your strategy of just using people as pawns in your game. Because now we got 6 dudes versus your 1. Yeah, it's like you got a point on it there, but I'm still, fucking super fucking confident we can win.
Jeez.
To see if Avan can get out of wherever he is in one go. We're going to check in on that next time. Comes down to the final move, apparently.
That's Dragon Quest.
There's probably been a very exciting and thrilling fight happening, but we're not privy to. But it'll end in a fun saying, "Okay, we're going to cut back and we'll all cut the bits. We're going to end this in one move. Okay, we're going to cross each other in midair, and then one's going to fall dead." And we'll never know. Maybe we will if Kilgrim is actually just like a puppet being animated by the small little dude with the hat, or is he his own dude? We don't know.
Yeah, I'm sure we'll find out. Yeah, so we've got 3 fights going on now. Say checking back in next week.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the castle it's stopped in midair because the engine has been destroyed, so it would normally fall, but it's made of material that's it just naturally kind of floats. So I'm kind of wondering, is this going to like over the course of these battles slowly float up and go into space?
It felt like the writer at the time it was coming out of the comics. I needed to tell him, you better explain how the castle's still floating, otherwise we're going to letters from kids, and I don't want to answer them.
I gotta wonder, will it keep floating up and up and up because we know there's there's an underworld. Is there an over is there a heaven to this place? Because there's there's the gods. The gods keep referring to it. Will it kind of keep ascending and then suddenly saying Dark King of the Underworld appear? Fuck off with that, and then they just cast him down. We'll see now. These are at the final fights, but there's longer than these fights would take than you would expect left to adapt. So there's going to be something that's going to like collide in the middle of this. Its tide is turning in the hero's favor, which seems it's going all well, but any good battle is about push and pull. So what's going to be the pushback here? Stop that momentum. I don't know.
We will see. Then finally, it is another new thing. It is Shine On Bakumatsu Bad Boys. Episode 1, Deceive, the Shinsengumi of Criminals.
This is going to be a hard team. Very hard to remember the names of.
Yeah, that's a good point. I better look up all these guys' names as well.
If you're at least going to operate on color and general personality, it won't be too bad.
The premise is we're introduced at first to Ichiban Boshi, who's fighting a guy with a mask, a swordsman with a mask on, with his bare hands. But this leads to him getting arrested. And he's going to get executed. He thinks he's about to get beheaded with a bag on his head, and then he has the bag taken off his head, and he is with 6 other criminals who are also about to be executed. And
I sort of revealed that on that line, you saw that fun. You got a character design. You got a character design. You got a character design, and then you don't. You just look like some average dude. So they get given a choice. What to do? Heisuke Todo. He's like the one-eyed, very diminutive, boyish remnant leader of the Shinsengumi, legendary like paramilitary force who wanted to uphold the will of the emperor in the face of Japan's like modernization. He says, "I'll give you one choice. You can kind of work for us and stand in as our fallen leaders, or you die." So it's like everyone's kind of, I'll totally go for that. The dude with no character design says, "Fuck you." Okay, Ted. Actually, dude who went for a first, and I'm just like a store for hire. I'll do anything you ask, and then he just cuts him off. See, I'm that good. Got rid of the point Java right
so
here.
We've got Ichiban Boshi, who is our main character, who isn't going to go along with them until he learns that the guy he wants revenge on for killing his dad and making his mum and brother go missing, that I think we're pretty sure where his brother is by the end of the episode as a viewer. Learns that the same man is responsible for attacking the Shinsengumi, then he's suddenly on board with Heisuke's plan. But we also have Sakuya, who's like, does this job involve killing? Yes. Okay, I'm on board because I'm a hitman, and so it doesn't matter as long as someone's paying me to kill people, I'm good.
there's a big tubby dude called Bo saying, "Well, I got lots of thirsty food to eat." Yep, anything you want. Oh boy, and he's obviously coming in. There's fucking Taro, the old dude, who's just like fun saying, "Hey, is there any fun margin for profit in this game?" Fun saying, "Yeah, sure, probably." All right, I'm in. And
Yeah,
y'all come
so
in and like
we've
that.
got Sugan, who wants to know if he can have the dead body of the guy who got executed because he's a criminal doctor. I assume he's along the lines of most criminal doctors in the 19th century. He's actually doing science, but he wants to do science on dead bodies, and he can't get the whole of the dead bodies fast enough.
You can't. There's Akira, who's like token woman, fun saying, "I got a very like masculine characterization, but are you okay with women being in this group?" Fun saying, "Yeah, sure, because you actually know how to use a sword. Okay, so you can teach the rest of these dumbos what to do. Okay,
And a
okay, I'm
horny
in.
monk.
Grand." And holy monk, I'm the sinful monk. And fun saying, "Oh, the Buddha says, let's escape the corruptions of this material world. But how am I supposed to know what those corruptions are? Let's actually
Oh,
appreciate them for myself."
did we mention Gotaro, the oldest one? Yes.
The guitar, the old dude, just fun saying, "Yeah, come on, I'll have a good time and give me some good booze out of
Yeah,
this," or
apparently he's
whatever he
committed every
wants.
crime you could imagine. Uh, I believe that's how it's described.
Jaywalking, voter fraud. I've done
So
a
that's the
lot.
first half of the episode. And the first 10 minutes, I was like, this is the best first 10 minutes I've seen for a show because it's got a whole load of characters who are basically one note, but they've got really great character designs and they're just caricatures in both personality and design. And it's a,
Yeah, you gotta get your
yeah, Wild
dirty half
7.
dozen, or your Suicide
Wild 7 is
Squads, or
very much
get
the
them
thing.
in.
It's 19th century Wild 7. You've
Yeah,
got
yeah.
7 criminals having to be cops. Um, it's exactly what it is. That they just don't have motorcycles. That's all they're missing. Um, and then they do some training, and then they go on patrol where they basically Heisuke has to tell Gotaro and Bo they don't need to commit crimes anymore. You're being paid. You don't have to steal purses. You don't have to steal food. You can pay for the food.
Oh, really?
Uh,
Yeah, the model of the samurai spirit, because we're here to uphold justice and the law and nobility and integrity. So no stealing things would be well amplified with it. But Ichiban pushes everyone saying, "Fuck samurai, fuck short. I'm gonna fight with my breakdance and shisha." What if, what if like an average man is given an evil cursed sword and a wooden mask and he starts going kill crazy,
yes.
chopping people up around town?
Yeah, because
What do you
Sugan,
do then?
Akira, and Suzuran, I noticed on the English name they're giving him is, oh, they got Lily of the Valley. They find somebody who's been slashed by the guy with the sword and the mask, uh, and they get well, Sakuya and Ichibanoshi go after them for a bit, and then they go, we should go after and get Heisuke, but Ichiban's having none of it. He runs off. And then when he faces down with him, he's able to activate the magical powers of his sword.
Only a good guy with a magical sword can stop a bad guy with a magical sword. That's how it is in the world.
And defeats him, and then we see some bad guys reacting to it, and there's one bad guy who's clearly his little brother.
Was now an evil ninja with massive, voluminous hair. It's actually fucking crazy how it's just all fucking back combed up or something like that. It's enormous. I guess in place of the ninja scarf, he's got this massive bouffant just flowing behind him instead.
Yeah, this was the sort of fun historical nonsense that I enjoy.
Yeah, it's like it's like Hiroki Takeda, Shaman King guy. He provided designs for him, which is why it's so extra and well, it's lots of big hair in it. But he had good variety in his designs as well, which is why you have, we got an older dude and you got a big chubby dude. So it's a basic archetype thing, but it's almost nostalgic kind of throwback for something like that now. It's in this kind of setting I've been used to Shinsengumi story for. It's a cast of like Shinsengumi, but they're all beautiful boys. They're all kind of various times up shown, and he was like kind of the wild one. He was the cool one. He was the sexy one. He was the cute one. But they're all different shapes and sizes, so it's good to see a bit of like diversity in the cast of it in in one sense,
yeah,
at least.
yeah. It's
Um,
and I was like, it's been a while since we watched the
it's.
Twin Engine show as well. I feel.
I was going to say, yeah, they they definitely play to one particular audience, whatever the hell that
Yeah,
is.
whatever it was that Amazon Prime were buying for a while there, definitely tied into the sort of thing we like.
It's you know, you see a logo pop up. You know, maybe it's a logo like from ages past. And saying, "Oh, I remember this when I saw this logo for the film. It's going to go in for a wild time." When I see those dudes on the motorbikes pop up, it's like, "Oh, this is going to be pretty crazy in some sense or the other."
Yeah, I used to be able to get a thrill of like seeing the emotion logo come up, and yeah,
Oh yeah,
and this
that was
does do a
cool.
bit of a yeah, a frisson of excitement when it shows up. And it is a show where it's been written by the director, so I think that lessens the chance of them writing something that can't be animated. Um,
Something, yeah, that will also I suppose finish on a good
yes,
note,
because
or
it's not an
you'd hope at
adaptation,
least finish on
and
a good coherent note.
yeah, it's it was a fun ride. If you like goofy swordsman and this particular setting as well, I was to say it's not.
Yeah,
I was initially comparing it to Oedo Rocket in my head because it's a similar era and setting and similar character. I think that's better based on just even off of this first episode. But this is still fun.
yeah. I wonder if it was a setting thing as well that that maybe kind of bounce off, because in my head, like what the last year or something like that, there was Akudama Drive, which was again, sorry, we got to get
Yes.
these criminals together for a heist or for a job and that. And it was also very much being sold on the character designs by from this so and so, the Dangan Rampa dude, whose name I keep forgetting whenever I bring it up. But I just bounced off of that. Probably because the sentence was like, "Oh, remember that film Blade Runner? Yeah, we're going to list like, no, we're still on that in the year of our Lord in this one 21st century in the 2020s ones in, and that's our only reference to what keep going back to." And this felt like uh probably because I'm not about other things. I know it's not entirely yet to me like this Seamus reference that is going to irk me the wrong way, or presumably, if you're a history buff about this period in Japanese history, then it'll probably be full of
Yes,
Seamus
very
references.
possibly. Yeah.
Who knows? Yeah, but the visual style looks nice as well. The thick line we got on everybody, I really like. I'm not so sure about the filter and make it look like we're watching it, you know, on like an old scroll
Yeah,
or
I
some
quite
shit.
like that because they do that in Mononoke, and that's one of my favorite things ever.
Mm, some have used it recently and it hasn't been as
No.
effective. So it's kind of got on the way that you have this like, I guess it comes like a ready-made filter, but some kind of animation software or whatever to put it over it. But the designs are quite pretty good, and I kind of one again a nice kind of thick, chunky line is always appealing to me, and to see that chunky line move in a very appealing way as well.
Yep. And that is it
Yeah.
for this week. Hopefully, Dwayne's Windows will have updated by next week. Just gonna have a quick check. There's nothing creeping up on us that might be of interest. I don't think so. We got Doctor
Mm,
Stone next week instead of Spriggan. Oh, there is that
yeah.
show about hypersports, Extreme Hearts,
Oh,
but
that
that was
thing.
actually last week,
Yeah.
so I don't know. It's missed its opportunity. It's missed its window of opportunity. Oh, there's already got too much stuff to watch. I got Bob's Burgers movie to watch as well.
Yeah, I keep seeing mostly gifs or short clips of Licorice Recoil, which is about the police state in Japan. I keep seeing as, you know, nice and orderly, and the agents who are tasked with doing that, which mostly wasn't going around just capping people in the gut on the
Yeah,
sly, just
the
fucking
trailer was like, oh look, there's
choke
this
holding
cute
over.
show about people working at a cafe, and it was clear like, oh, but they're assassins. It was obvious from the trailer. It was like the trailer was playing like it was going to be a big surprise, but the trailer also plays like, yeah, they're assassins. There's no surprise here.
I might have to give her a look because there's some like, you know, some good gunplay there, and they say, well, they wave it off and say, oh, she's using like, you know, like rubber bullets and non-lethal rounds, but they can still pierce through a fucking car door. So I think she's been sold like a bill of goods as well. So I don't know. If I have time, I might give that a look and see. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, coming up, there's Uncle from Another World, which some people is it? Does it have? Is it a weird situation where it's got English subtitles on the Japanese Netflix?
It
Okay,
does.
yeah,
I've seen the caps
but
of it
they're
and the
holding
videos of
off
it.
till they've got the dub to put it on English Netflix.
No, but that happened to me in Japan, man. Like, I on the day and we leaving to come home, I think I'll like get some stuff to watch to download and save locally off of Netflix to watch on the very long plane ride. That's how I was able to get the 2018 Baki, which was up on there, and that in subs I watched them all on the plane.
Yeah, I guess I could. I guess I
So
could watch it if the
I don't
VPN
know.
lets me on there. Now I could wait a couple of weeks
Hmm.
because everything I see of it on Twitter, it does seem like it is as funny a show as I was hoping it would be. But maybe those are just the funny bits, and when I get to it, I'll have seen all the funny bits already. But there we go. Um,
Yes.
yeah, think that's it. I think I've even
Yeah.
seen a way to not watch too much stuff in October. Uh,
There's fun bracket
2018, I
up there.
think
I see something.
2018, I think was the last time we ran into this problem. Um,
God, it is like, you know, it's just isn't it like fucking like business suicide you're doing? Because there's fun. You're going to be competing with all of this other mad shit, lads. Couldn't you just like
I
put it off
know,
for a little
not
while?
just
Because
save it, but
this
maybe there is like legitimate drop in ratings when you stick it on in in the winter season, or maybe we don't
in
get the
winter,
advertising or
or
the sponsorship that you get by sticking it on before in the autumn.
I suppose they want stuff in the shops for Christmas, or we're actually in the shops for
Yeah,
New Year's.
it's yeah, it's very odd. Like
Mm.
I say, it's a massive amount. But I think if limited to things which are sequels to things we've watched before, that does bring the number right down. But still,
We got like a kind of like make some more friends and have some kind of like let's go B team to cover
I need to watch this
or
football
half of it.
show where they've put a bunch of strikers in some sort of death match in a prison in order to find the best striker for the Japanese youth team.
Man, from talk conservative government there they go.
And yeah, I've not even finished watching the soccer show I started watching. But oh man, there we go. But hopefully it might have cooled down a bit by then. Because I'm going to
Oh well, too
end
many
this
good
podcast
cartoons. Yes,
right now.
one.
Goodbye for now. And
Right.